with Cold and Rapid playing super consistent and Peterbot and Poyo now jumping up in the leaderboards.
That's scary though, right, Blake? I mean, with 2 games left to go, now you've got Cold, Rapid, Peterbot, Poyo up in there. I mean, that in some ways it makes it better, right? Because it's like, okay, well, we'll need less overall points to make that qual, but now we're also opening it up to everyone else. Like, dude, with 2 games left to go, this could still go any which way. We have to look at the standings after this break. When we return, more to break down and start prepping for only 2 games left. Bro, I can't! No!
Teammates have his back. Mustache gets the drop on Amerian. Stays alive. They're targeting out Vanya. 3v1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reload Elite Series. Peterbot and Poyo, they get the victory royale in game number 6. They bring this, well, of course, to a standoff right now. With 2 games left to go, we got to kind of start talking about this. We'll turn attention to the leaderboard to kind of set this up, because as we look at this leaderboard, if you look at like top 8, anyone technically could qual, right? Because now with Peterbot and Poyo jumping up, they're only 3 points up. That means now qual is top 4. You know, Kelly, that's scary, right? Because that means so many more of these duos could actually make it up into that top 4, because less points would be required.
Yeah, there's still, in just these 2 more games to go, there is still so much that can happen. But honestly, I feel like we might be getting a little bit of history repeating itself right now. Peterbot and Poyo seem to be kind of positioning themselves to climb back up the leaderboard. You know they want that first place, but are they going to fall short to Cold and Rapid once again? But right now, we have to talk about Kanata and Curve. If we're talking about positioning, this duo right now is definitely positioning themselves to get that qualification spot into LAN.
Yes, they are. And like I said earlier, Curve has got to be so happy with his decision to drop Craze after their top 5 finish, because they're on their path to Saudi right now. If they keep this up over the next 2 games, it's just crazy to see. And they are just playing so consistent with only 18 eliminations, which doesn't look like a lot when you compare it to the likes of Cold and Rapid with 39. But 18 eliminations in 6 games is still pretty good.
Oh man, dude. I mean, there's just so much that could happen. Like, Cold and Rapid still performing well. I mean, I want to talk about Reed and Veno, right? Like, dude, Veno is causing so much chaos in this lobby. Currently 7th place, right? If they keep this up, like, we could see them steal. I mean, dude, they're 221. Okay, Curve and Kanata right now are 234. That's nothing with 2 games left to go. Kelly, this could go anyway. This could go anyway. It's crazy.
I mean, Cold and Rapid, this has just been par for the course for them right now. I mean, they got first place in the first qualifier. They get first place out of their heats, and now they're here to do it again. And once again, I'm going to just be repeating myself. Their control of the mid ground is just so impressive to me, Blake.
Yeah, it's just insane seeing how close this tournament actually is. Anyone can qualify, Zeke.
Oh, man, we are getting up 2 games left to go. MDF, Jacob PR, take it away.
I can't believe time has flown by so fast. 2 games left, and a lobby this stacked is going to be chaotic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just have the standings pulled up right here next to me. I'm ready for game number 7. It sounds like the bus is too.
We're itching for the next game. Players are itching for the next game, and everybody at home needs to see what is going down. But out of nowhere, Peterbot with the down onto Curly across the map from his drop spot. Peterbot is doing Peterbot things. He's going after first place.
Hey, look, and you know what? If you're at the bottom, if you're kind of inside the top 8, you're happy if Peterbot is the guy causing destruction. He's already qualified. It doesn't really matter unless he's taking you out directly, as he'll open up the standings just a little bit more. So, if anything, you want him to take out that immediate competition. But jumping into the mix of things, I mean, we haven't really seen him push this far in, and it's almost as if he's trying to show the world, like, hey, I want to win this tournament. So he's fighting Sphinx and Buzz now.
Yeah, it's not just about qualifying. It's not just about the prize money. That's the thing about Peterbot. He wants to be the best. He wants to beat the best. He's constantly going and putting himself in these situations where he has full control over his own destiny, but he put himself in a little bit of a tight spot here. Muzz on the one side, Sphinx on the other. You got a whole nother team on the outskirts, and they do clean up that elimination. Peterbot possibly biting off more than he can chew, but it's no worries, no risk at all. He's going to get that free reboot back at Slurpee with Poyo.
You know what? Muzz and Sphinx, you got to give them all the credit in the world, holding it down, not really losing their composure. And they must have been going through their mind like, wait a second, this guy's moving different. Like, he's not moving the way Cooper and the others are. As Peterbot likes to say, he is a gap above the rest. But nonetheless, you love to see that competitiveness come out there. And again, he's always going to show us he wants to win tournaments. No matter what, even if he's qualified, even if, you know, it's a lot less money than some of the other tournaments he's taken in the past.
Yeah, it's just bragging rights, just calling yourself the best in the world season after season, year after year. And especially going all the hype into the global championship, how it all shake down. We got a full year ahead of just constant action just like this. But Re and Veno are able to get an elimination onto Rapid. He's going a little bit too far away from that steamy spot that we know where he picks up a lot of his early game eliminations. So already a lot of players changing things up here.
Back with Hobby and Lobo there on the move right now. Lockdown, Lighthouse here getting a bit of action up against Noah, but on the other side, Boyo secures a very important elimination here onto Ritual, who was trying to fight for the Slurp truck, and Boyo's like, nah, bruh, nobody's getting that. He's gonna go ahead and break it there just to remove it. And that just probably tells me he's gonna be leaving the drop here shortly, but back on over to Re and Veno, so the pickup was successful, and into the box they go. 224 points here, so these early elims are so important. This is how basically Cold and Rapid won the last qualifier. It was based off of them finding really smooth momentum in the late rounds, basically farming up a bunch of points there, but it seems like things slow down a bit here. They still have ults in sight.
Yeah, It just seems like they're primarily focusing on all the contested fights, seeing if they could steal one Elim here, maybe a wipe there, but they're the ones getting lurked on now. Carbone and Evan ready to try to make a play. 4 teams here at one point or another. We are down to just 2, and only Veno and Reet have any idea, or I should say they don't have any idea that this team is here lurking around. Missed shot onto Reed. That was an opportunity that you don't get every day, but the Storm, the damage is already there. The HP being dwindled. Evan has to try to separate himself so that way he can use the med miss smoke, but Reed's med kit does get canceled. The consistent pressure is there. Even if he gets eliminated, it's not too much of a worry, but you don't want to go down because that go ahead and pauses the entire game plan that you have for so long until you get right back into the game.
And you saw there, Veno had all the chance in the world to back him up, but he knew, wait a second, I probably should heal here. This could be our entire tournament. As we jump on over to a quick highlight here with Eshu and Dozer, just continue to find that momentum, just kind of find their stride here in the late half of the tournament. They had a moment where they were basically being stopped, right? Their plan was thwarted, but now all of a sudden they're up in the race somehow for a qualification spot. And things are just starting to develop here in game number 7 there, Jacob.
Yeah, and for you got to think Dozer and Ishu, when we were talking about teams that, you know, had a chance to qualify, had a chance with a big game here, it's much harder for them starting the game at 171 points, but if they find the right eliminations, if some of their competitors above them on the leaderboard go down early with less points than they hope, it's possible. Much harder chance, but anything is possible here. But until then, Amadi Kirsta, Bolts, and Acorn, they found him wandering around and lurking as a solo, too far away from his teammate, and that's when they pounce. They secure that elimination, and their third one of the game. Oh my, oh my.
That's a problem, and Veno gets gifted Acorn's loot there. A little fall damage, unfortunately, or the Storm, one or the other. Either way, it wasn't the part of the plan here. And Reet and Veno have continued to keep up the pressure here onto Bolts and Acorn. So unfortunate for them as they just can't quite get their footing. This little side ramp tech there is going to go on and keep them right back on the heels. You know, I'm also thinking to myself, like, I want a little update on Muzz and Sphinx, right? What all happened after Peterbot stopped pushing them? Because that's still very, very interesting as they're the leading team here, if you will.
Both hiding though. Acorn actually did get taken down fresh off the reboot. Peterbot, you know he's everywhere. And when you get rebooted, you don't get rebooted right above your teammate unless you're outside of the zone. And you see Bolts is not safe as can be, so Acorn's not going to be saving the day anytime soon. It's really going to be up to him with the pressure, and he's been found out by Reet. Acorn possibly spawning at this time, so I do believe he's bought more than enough. It's just how can you survive? You know, Acorn just got down by Poyo again. Poyo's already getting the elimination cleaned up, which means both going down here means they are eliminated out of game 7.
You know, it was a valiant effort, right? Trying to fight his way back, but just back against the vending machine there. Nothing much he can do there. And then, like you called it, when your teammate's spawning so far, he's just a target at that point. And just like that, the run ends for what I would call the favorite coming into the second qualifier. So it's going to come down now the next time. But for Josh, for Cooper, for Curly, the people that are still in the fight here. A lot of action going down.
Have a chance to qualify during this action. The dust is settling, 4th zone. It's not till 5th monster that you really typically see teams really play a passive game plan, and this is where we're seeing Acorn trying to stay alive. Poyo, or say Peterbot and Poyo taking turns, just getting Elim after Elim after Elim. I think that we saw 6 eliminations already at this point in the game, which means in this scoreboard, Peterbot and Poyo have now moved from 4th to 3rd place, opening up that top 2 gap that is now turned into a top 4.
Yep, giving Curve and Kanata a little run for their positioning here. See how it all plays out in the end as Curve and Kanata right in between Clicks Higgs, Issue, Dozier. Remember, these 2 games here can flip the entire script on its head. Should any team come up short or pop off, really.
And this is where we're getting into that passive style of game. You see a launch pad just underneath for Clicks and Higgs. It's not the big and better launch pad. There's a capped distance on that launch pad, so they might not necessarily be a main focal point as Kanata and Curve using the shockwave, just trying to break into the box. They thought a team was there, but as they get in, they realize they've already left. And you got to think that's Javi. That's Javi and Virgo on the other side. They left that box, but they're only 2 boxes away lurking around, so this could be a chance to catch them off guard, but there's a lot of noise being made. They give up their position, and they have to be careful. There's 2 more teams towards the north. Curve, Canada, they're not backing down. Even though they are on the bubble right now, they are the team to beat. They're ready to risk it all for that moment.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself that Shockwave play was a little interesting as they kind of opened themselves up to the rest of the lobby. They're blasting right back past the enemies, but all in all, they kind of get the situation back under control and off they go. They're not necessarily happy with the way that all played out, and just looking at the situation, the material count here, they are going to be desperate to try to bounce back. Let's see if they have anything extra kind of lurking about here in the area.
I would say the biggest blessing right here, not only disengaging off of that fight though, but doing exactly what you said. They're just very, very low on material, especially the hard mats. They know the zone opened up there, so in theory, there's possibility of players being on that side of the map slim to none, especially with how much damage the zone is actually doing. And you see reboots turning off in one more zone after this. Once the 7th zone does appear, there's going to be no chances for players to get back into the game. And that's where you're seeing a lot of pressure, and your players are feeling that pressure, including Josh and Iamzo. They were the team inside of the bubble after last game. They went down a little bit earlier than they would hoped, and now they're putting themselves on the back foot. They're not as far away from that spot as some of the other teams, but you definitely don't want to be the team that's going down early.
Look at this, Muzz, Sphinx thinking about repositioning here, and now don't want to be on the outskirts of what will be the likelihood of teams moving towards you. So they were thinking about busting a move right there, but instead they kind of slow things down. But they are still very much in the lead, although they only have a single Elim right now. But look at this. Reeds by himself. No Veno in sight. He's got to stay alive for a couple more moments. The med mist comes down out of desperation. And this is just going to buy him a few seconds, but no, has to shockwave himself way out to the side here. And this is just trouble everywhere if I've ever seen it. He's going to be forced to med mist here and then try to jump his way into the zone. Notice he saves a little 5 tick there. Trying to buy Veno a little bit of time. I think the storm should allow him to reboot here shortly, but yeah, he touches down and it's just not looking too good.
Yeah, he had to go deep into the zone, and luckily for them, it is still 6 zones, so it is only a 2 tick. Once we get into the 7th, that's when it's really going to hurt. 5 tick of damage per second that you do still in there. You see Clicks and Higgs have clutched 102 points as solos, which is impressive, right? If you look at that stat line, you're like, man, these guys got what it takes, but it's not the solo performances that have really been carrying a lot of the teams in this game. It's been sticking together. If you look at the leaderboard, phenomenal performance through and through from Cold and Rapid, Muzz and Sphinx. Even though Curve and Kanata have had some speed bumps in their road, when they go down or when they find success, it's because they're together.
Most definitely does come down to that duo dynamic. Jason Jargo flexing that just all day here today. Comes some big rotates now coming through. We get the little update here for Kanata and Curve. I was wondering if they were going to take the legendary fish with them. It seems like they are. Always one of my favorite kind of items to see come into play. Such a rare and unique one.
No, Peterbot Poyo pressing on the Higgs and Clicks yet again. Poyo's actually going to solidify that elimination on Higgs. Clicks using the shockwave, trying to create distance, but the spray is still coming in, and it's never left Peterbot and Poyo. They started a fight, and they've gained the attention from everybody all around. Luckily for Pete, though, he's just hiding in the cone. Nobody's shooting up above, so he's going to get that extra second to gain information before he goes right back on, collects the loot, because he knows he's going to have to rotate soon. It's just try and do what you can to get yourself in the best position possible, and it's almost making me wonder, with Clicks bouncing back, is he going to be out for revenge?
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing here? Why come back when you see exactly who it is? And this just seems more personal than anything else. To the box, he's going to try to go, see if there's any extra loot to go in and pick up. Here's the mats he was desperate for and a couple extra shields. So I guess it was definitely worth it here and now. But with 500 builds, I like this play here. Keeps a low profile now. And this is going to be tough. And this is why them as solos have been, you know, so up there when it comes to clutching, right? We just talked about that stat. They just haven't found their groove as a duo together. Kanata and Curve on the other side are playing excellent Fortnite here. They secure a very impactful Elim.
Yeah, you see him using that mythic goldfish to just one pump the wall, essentially. and then him and Curve just switch. They pump, they spray their way the rest of the way in, and just immediately rotate on out. And because of their decision making, the zone prior to this one, look how much open space they actually have to make it towards the zone before they reach any opposition in any box-to-box scenario. As Peterbot and Poyo, they've fought every single big team throughout the course of this tournament so far, and multiple times that led to them gaining the high ground like this. But those are an issue. They're flying by for a short moment, landing good damage on Poyo, making him hide and heal up. That means Peterbot's going to be the only one trying to pressure the lobby.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, Clicks also fell there just in 15th, so the momentum being stopped here. We're going to need to see 2 big games if they want to qual now. Jason Jarg will have a chance here to just really widen the gap and push themselves away from the competition. They've almost seemingly came out of nowhere on the tournament day here. They've played exceptionally well. But Poyo and Peterbot are controlling the high ground. This time, different than the last round, they are being a little bit more active, a lot closer to the enemy territory, and also just putting in those shots. You can hear it continuing to fire away.
I think Cold knows, especially along with Rapid, you know, playing a year with Peterbot, you know, he tries to put matters into his own hands, control his own fate. If he's going to win or lose, it's going to be by something he did, not something he didn't do. And I think they're kind of gearing up, Cold and Rapid, to do the same thing. They get very good damage onto Muzz and Sphinx, and they look forward. A bunch of other teams have already beaten them on this rotation, including Josh and Yamzo, Jace, Jargu. They get to the front side of the zone, but really none of that matters because we saw it in the last game. Peterbot and Poyo, if nobody looks up at them, they will smoothly sail across that finish line.
Yeah, definitely. Muzz and Sphinx here in the end game once again, keeping us on our toes here. Muzz is just back with a vengeance. Well played for him as he finds a nice little cheeky elimination underneath the brush of the tree there. Up he goes. The tracking's looking well. Off to next layer, but no, it's danger up here too. And it's not looking good as he's lost Sphinx now. Down, trying to play for the reboot here. Sphinx dropped the mats here. Super important for him to do that, but no, spotted out now on the move. Still well inside the top 12. Can he buy himself a little bit more time is the real question.
Yeah, more than half of the points still left on the board in terms of placement. He's going to have to buy more than just a few seconds here as he tries to use the med miss smoke and gets peeked on by Curve. Curve is also in the hunt. So that's not only elimination points, that's placement points as well. Solo clutches are coming out of the woodworks here. Over 5 players running around as of now as solos. Curve being one of them, trying to wait to the last possible moment to rotate on out. He has that low grab effect thanks to the Flowberry Fizz, but now he's fresh out of that as well and builds. So things continue to get worse for Curve. He's going to need a miracle here in order to survive.
Yeah, you can argue he needed it way more than Muzz here as he's just on the heels of the top 3 now. 2 Elims for him, still holding down the fort here. 9th place, Cold and Rapid. Controlling the low ground at the moment, moving around. Peterbot and Poyo just haven't stopped the pressure here. They're really making it difficult for everyone else now. And if you're on the ultimate low, you're kind of hanging out here for a second, but you're getting pushed right into the hands of Cold, and Cold is just cooking right now. He hasn't missed a single shot down low, and that's another Elim for them now. And take a look at this. A box-to-box against Yamzo and Josh here, who are also inside the end game. All of our big players are still in the mix.
Yeah, this is a moment that Josh and Yamzo needed after going down early, not getting very many points in that last game. But our final 4 teams, said loosely because Osid is the only solo left, looking to the backside of the zone. He has 9 builds left, but he has to be very, very careful how he plays this. They can instantly burn through the builds, but they're distracted. Josh and Yamzo try to jump onto Cold and Rapid, but it doesn't work out necessarily. They continue to trade elimination for elimination. Josh, there's no time for him to get the siphon. He has to shockwave to the front. He finds his position up above. The eliminations come through, but there's still Peterbot and Poyo up above. You almost forget how easy they make it look.
And now they come now to kind of seal the deal here off to the side. I mean, just look at the eliminations, trying to work their way to a 17 bomb, but they get 16 either way. Talk about a monster game there, Jacob, for the back-to-back.
Yeah, it's almost a polar opposite. They started off Qualifier 1 hot, slowly fizzled away, but still secured their spot. Now they started off hot in this one, and they're ending off so good. Peterbot and Poyo still on top. Zeke, Kelly, Blake, what do you think?
Man, Jacob, I think this is just what Peterbot and Poyo do, man. 16 Elim BR. And to think this all started off the back of Peter taking the fight directly to Muzz and Sphinx early, and then getting like you know, eliminated, and you're kind of, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, like, that probably might frag the mentals a little bit. Like, that might kind of put him in a little bit of a bad headspace. Just kidding, Zeke. You don't know what you're talking about. They come back and win. I can't even believe it, Kelly. This is crazy.
I can believe it because we've seen this now for how many years? Well, we're going on 3 years now. Peterbot and Pollo do it once again. And it's just once again where they have height and no one even looks up. This is like what we saw from chapter 4, where they just duoed and no one even cared to look for height because they knew that Peterbot and Pollo were going to be there, so why even try and go for it? But I've never seen a team have height so passively and still walk out with 16 eliminations. Like, there is nothing this duo can do.
Yeah, I think that Peterbot and Pollo might have to reconsider the splitting on BR after this, because if they can take these reload skills and take it to the BR this season, they're looking good. I mean, not many duos can get 16 eliminations in one game in a finals lobby with the best of the best players. How do they do it?
Dude, I don't know. They are just built completely different. With one game left to go, yet again, Peterbot and Pollo have shaken up this leaderboard. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we'll take a look. Get ready. So we got one game left to go before we see who qualifies on through EWC. We'll see you in a moment.
Two teammates have his back. Where's Nash? Gets the drop on Marion. Stays alive. They're targeting out Vanya. 3v1.
Fortnite fam, welcome back. Your Little Elite Series, one game left to go. Peterbot and Pollo get another victory royale on the day. That should put them in first, right? No. History repeats itself. Qualifier 1, we saw this exact same scenario play out as we turn attention to the standings. Cold and Rapid currently hold down that #1 spot. Kelly, here we are once again, and now we are looking to fight for 3rd and 4th place, which is basically the top 2 for the rest of everybody, the rest of the lobby, because Cold and Rapid, Peterbot and Pollo have already qualified. This is crazy stuff, okay? If we think about the kind of situation, Kelly, I feel like this is essentially a fight for fourth, right? Unless something crazy happens to Muzzin Sphinx, if they just stay consistent, they probably lock down third place. It's a fight for fourth, right?
I mean, we did just have Peterbot and Pollo land dirty docks, so there is still definitely a big question mark up in the air on what's going to happen for drop spots. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen again in the final game, but I don't think you should say with 100% certainty that Muzz and Sphinx has this, because you can see how close the competition is, all the way down to 7th, even all the way down to 8th place, Blake. I think with one good game and maybe a few small missteps from our 3rd and 4th place team, any of these teams can jump up into the top 4.
Definitely, Kelly. And Muzz being 32 points ahead of 4th, which is the other qual spot, all they have to do is play endgame and lock in a couple points. They are so close to punching their ticket, but that 4th place spot, that can go to anyone. It can go to Veno, Curve, Kanata. It's anyone's spot. So it's going to be crazy to see what these duos do, if they're going to play more aggressive because they know they're having to play catch up, or if they're just going to play their game confident enough that they're going to make the end game and get that victory royale.
Man, just look at this, guys. Iamzo and Josh, 278, okay? Like Blake just pointed out, if you go down, you look at King Peace and X at H, which is Veno and Reet, they're at 233, right? Like, and like even Kelly pointed out, like a couple mistakes, it could just be like not that long ago where Higgs stuck up and hunting rifled someone. Like anything could happen. This is crazy. Okay, 30 seconds. What are you guys hoping to see? Could this go over to Veno, right? Could they sneak this in? Could this go in the way of Jason Jargy, who've been popping up? Curve and Kanata, Iamzo and Josh can hold it. What do you think, Kelly?
I think if you're in the top 7, you easily can jump up into the top 4 right now, but I want to see Cold and Rapid versus Peterbot and Pollo 2v2 in the final moments.
I think we saw Peter land on Muzz last game. I think Peter is going to be doing that to Cold and Rapid this game. He's going to try and ruin their flow, ruin their momentum, and take them out early to get that #1 spot.
Oh, Fortnite fans, get ready. One last game. We're looking at the top 4. Jacob, MDF, take it away.
My head is right where Blake's is. That's exactly what I was thinking, because we were giving him all that credit last time. Like, oh, he wants to be a champion. He wants to be in the competition here, Jacob. Well, now he has to do it.
I mean, you landed on Muzz last game. You were going after first place. Now you're going after Cold. You got your uncontested drop. There is a little bit of a gap as well. It's all mixing up to be the perfect ingredients for a contested fight. And man, Peterbot versus Cold. Kelly, why do we need to wait until the end of game 8? Let's just see it right out of the gates here early.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm waiting for the action to happen as well. And, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, will Peterbot play favorites? We know he thinks Cold very highly. He thinks very highly of Cold, as he's put him up there on the pedestal with himself. Well, let's see it here for game number 8.
This is it, the last game of the day and the last chance teams have to qualify for the Esports World Cup final through Qualifier 2. And this is the closest we've had it in quite a while. 3rd, 4th place, there's only a minute gap between them being inside and outside of the bubble. The action is already shaking out. Ager's down off spawn early. Dozier and Ishu continue to not back down.
Oh no, I see Sphinx and Muzz falling back to back consistently there. I don't know if that was a full team wipe though. I hope it wasn't, as 19 out of 20 duos, that was too fast for us to even realize. I think we'll just have to see. SU Dozier, one of the teams that are in the conversation right now for a potential qualification spot to land, but it's gonna come down to a monstrous performance here in the last game, really for anyone. And with teams falling here and now, opportunities might be opening up here.
Yeah, and realistically, for Muzz and Sphinx, there's only a certain amount of possible points on the board. Unless you get elimination heavy throughout the first 4 zones. They just gotta hope, maybe even pray from Curve, Kanata, Jace, Jarg, even Reet and Veno do not catch up. We know Josh and Iamzo right there on their heels, about 40, 30 or so points away. So we know they have a true possibility of passing them. It's about that second team down on that leaderboard. Bert and Taki still getting aggressive, taking it to Northern. Ritual find more than enough time for Agers to get back in the game, but not enough for Agers to close the distance and get right back on with him. He got close, but just a little bit too far away, so Ritual is going to fall, but Agers is already in that next fight. Luckily for him, he does get the down onto Dozier. He's not able to clean it up just yet, and he's not able to stay alive. He gets full on White Monster, already 2 teams out of the game.
And it was just that quick that things went into their favor. And just think about it. We just talked about how teams can just claw their way right back in to the fight here, and they're doing just that. And those big eliminations are going to really start to add up and show itself on the standings. Well, Higgs and Clicks are obviously not looking to give up without a fight themselves, but they're going to need so much more when it comes down to like just overall points. So I can appreciate the aggression here. But for Josh and Iamzo, this might be the best thing they can ask for. Opportunities to get points. And look at that, Jacob. There's the standings officialized.
Yeah, I was saying smart play. They're taking a page out of the Peter playbook. Instead of going after first and second, there's no use that. They already got their spot secured. Instead of going after Muzz, well, they're already out. You go after the next best thing, Josh and Iamzo. So they made quick work of their drop spot, quickly rotated north over towards the Boomin base, and they are chasing through and through. They know if they have any chance at qualifying to the Esports World Cup, it is going to be by taking down Josh and Iamzo and starting their journey to the top of the leaderboard. They already have Iamzo split. They already have him on just a little bit of HP, and they have him sent back to the reboot. This is where there's a lot of pressure on Josh here to survive.
It's really interesting too, because they have an opportunity to almost time the eliminations there, but Josh gets a little too far out of the ways from Higgs here, but Higgs knows more or less exactly where he's at. And look, they've got him so punished. As we know, that hunting rifle is devastating in the right hands. And I mean, you are spot on, Jacob. Not only are they earning points here, but they are getting very close to eliminating that immediate competition. And with Muzz now out of the picture with Sphinx, anything can really happen with the 2 available spots here for qualification.
And you got to think it's so close. You know, Curve and Kanata, 264. They're right there, so they're not going to make this daring play. Even Jace and Jargo, 239 coming into this game. I think they got what it takes as long as they continue to play this one out with a couple of teams already reeling and feeling the pain from the early game. 339 for Peterbot and Poyo. In first place, right around the corners to be Cold and Rapid. But the biggest thing here that I saw is that pulse rifle, that mythic pulse rifle in the hands of Peterbot that can literally turn fights just by being in his loadout.
Gotta see what they can do with it. Of course, Rapid and Cold are just gapping the competition right now. Love the leaderboards on the side there, just giving us again that continued update of who's in the fight. Curly and Cooper are some of the ones there, a little overthrown on the launch there, but no, Iamzo and Josh have even more problems to worry about now. It's another team that's pulled up here. Cooper and Curly want a piece of the action. They find this duo lurking outside, and they're probably thinking to themselves, well, what are you guys doing here? We want this spot too, and they're thinking the same thing Clicks was, but look at this. It's Clicks who actually secures the elim onto Josh, and then off they go like bandits in the night. It seems like they just want to go ahead and, you know, find themselves some opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, this is a complete nightmare, though, for Iamzo and Josh, because Josh is going to get rebooted, right? And they're going to know exactly where he's at yet again. But you got to give him the credit. Iamzo finding that exotic chest. He has the Wrecker. He has the exotic AR. He has the Shockwave launcher. But you got to be careful. That isn't the same Shockwave launcher that you think. It's more so to be used on enemies, not necessarily your save. So hopefully they know the differences in these launchers.
They are just tracking Iamzo heavily right now. Even there, they saw Josh kind of fall out the sky, secure the elim. Now they're looking to cut him off a bit here. This is just trouble if we've ever seen it play out. Well, Clicks and Higgs can't spend too much time here. Obviously, they still have positioning to focus on, so back to the drop they go. Meanwhile, Cooper and Curly haven't really given up the pressure here on the teams nearby. You take it to Javi. Take it to Virgo, who Clicks and crew were just pushing a couple moments ago, and they're just securing elims now. All of a sudden now, Cooper and Curly were like, oh yeah, y'all looking at top 8? Hold up. Let us just jump up into those positions here and put themselves in the conversation.
Yeah, and if you're Iamzo and Josh, you got to be blessed that a whole nother team crossed the path of Cooper and Curly. It brought their attention away from them. So hopefully giving them a chance to land all 4 of their feet down and kind of play this one out. Kanata and Curve, a whole different approach, though. Instead of joining all the action, they've been a team that's kind of playing slow and steady to win this race overall. They put themselves within arm's length. It's just about how you can close out the last and final game of the day. You see a little bit of a resource lacking, only 2 shockwaves instead of 4 for Kanata. Probably feeling confident with Curve has in his inventory, but in terms of their positioning in zone, they have to be feeling good.
Well, one thing's for certain, this last game, we've seen more duos get fully eliminated than we have in any other round this early. Like, we're only in zone 4, and teams have been dropped left and right. As we say that, Higgs continuing to earn points. So if you were counting potential clicks and Higgs fall out of the, the mix here, given that they fell a little early last round, you might have to think again, as things seem to be lining up for them.
About an 80-point deficit for Clicks and Higgs and getting that last spot. And that's without the team on the bubble, which is Josh and Iamzo, gaining any points at all. So they still got their work cut out from probably needing a win or a ton more of eliminations at 3 per, 10 eliminations is just 30 points. So you need to kind of max out the amount that you're kind of doing here in a situation like this. Jargo and Jace also in the hunt, much higher up on the leaderboard from Clicks and Higgs, so they have much less work to do, and I think that's why you see them trying to dodge a lot of these early game fights that can cost them everything for no reason.
Yeah, similar to Kanata and Curve as well, right? Like, just kind of playing those outskirts, keeping a low profile. You see here, Josh really looking to fight for his first chance to go to a LAN event. Be a massive opportunity for him. We've seen time and time again that anything can happen. I mean, just the Muzz fallout here early in this round is a telling story of just that. And remember, they're sitting on the sidelines right now. Muzz and Sphinx are just watching this show go on right now. 310 points solidified in time here.
Kind of preying on everybody's downfall. Jace looking in the skies, sees the rift. Immediately looking at his opportunity to get more points here, all the way in the backside of the zone. They're at the edge, but a whole nother team stepping in. That's Clicks and Higgs yet again. They know the situation that they're in. The only way they can qualify in this qualifier is through a certain number of eliminations and the win. You can't expect everybody just to fall over when you need it most, so you have to fight for it through and through as they continue to look for shots to connect, narrowly missing that hunting rifle, which we've seen him put in and use to do so much damage around the lobby, even sneaking up players in close range. But everybody's using those shockwaves, and that's kind of one of the annoyances. Even playing this in ranked or in a competition like this, you get a bunch of damage onto somebody and then just continuously shockwaving away.
Yeah, definitely. It's so easy to kind of get out of the danger when shockwaves are there. Kanata and Curve finally on the move once again here. Just again, notice how they're playing this. Super slow, super cautious here as they're on the outskirts. And there's no one around them. This is a rarity. But even so, they want to check the bushes, make sure, obviously, there's no one lurking nearby. It's Josh and Iamzo who are behind them, though, that make that quick rotate. And right now, again, if you're Clicks, if you're Higgs, you're hoping something goes south for Josh and Iamzo. Jason Jargo managed to find himself a nice little elimination there. That's going to be an important set of points. Iamzo and Josh might be ahead. However, they are not in the clear by any means. It's only 30, 40 points separating them.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. The shock and slow launcher. It launches you out, but while you're in the air, it's like that low gravity, slow to move, instantly deletes Kanata. The only blessing for Kanata right now is reboots are not turned off just yet. Yes, his loot is gone. Not going to be able to get that one back, but at least you have a chance to continue to perform. And it's Iamzo and Josh that are right above Curve and Kanata on that leaderboard, so that's even doubly painful to go down to them.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just kind of stick around and look to obviously hunt the finisher here. Look at it from Kanata's perspective. What can you do? You are just hopeless there. And he's probably thinking to himself, what happened? And then it all starts to come together. Ah, it's that grenade launcher. Okay. Jeez.
It's not just a regular shock, it's the shock and slow launcher, which you see the slow part coming into play right there. But look, he's back into the game. He's not necessarily in the same box with Curve just yet. Almost looks like he's getting ran down by Clicks and Higgs, but Curve is doing a good job of at least hitting some shots to fight back. He gets a good amount of damage on the Clicks, even spraying the cover to make him think they are going to play aggressive, which buys Kanata time to finally reunite in the same box, but only for so long. Virgo figures out a way to get the knock. I'm not sure if Clicks and Higgs saw it, but they immediately go on the offensive to try to take down Curve. And reboots are turned off, so Kanata will not be back in this game.
They turned around super quickly right there. Higgs, Clicks, not wasting any time here. And you got to think about it. They're looking at these names and they understand that this is that immediate threat to their positioning, to their qualification. They need to eliminate all of these players here.
They're shockwaving out. Curve gets the memo. Even with the 3 med kits, you don't want to use those too early in this game. You kind of want to save them when you're needing materials. Have none, stagger yourself back, but being this far as a solo is tough. All it takes is one team, one person to spot you out, start the spray, and the rest of the lobby will join suit, which would be almost a game-ending option for Curve because he has less than 20 builds left to his name. So already he's in a situation where he needs an elimination to stay alive.
Even more pressure now for Yamzo as well. He's by himself, no Josh, no reboot. And this is a tough spot to be in. What a poor set of, cards he's been dealt essentially here. As we have so much more Fortnite ahead of us. Curve's got every right to, oh no, it's gonna say fight his way back as well, and down he goes. Yamzo finds a little bit of a relief there from the loop, but no, he might have just opened themselves up to the rest of that lobby pressure. Some shots come in. Remember, this Storm's gonna do a lot here. Yeah, he cannot stay around. I mean, Jacob, this is ever so close here and now for him.
Yeah, and it being top 13, the players below them outside of Curve and Kanata, Jason, Jargu, Reet, and Veno, roughly 40 or so points, which is not a lot, especially when you're top 13, and that can be achieved in placement points alone as Curve, or Cooper, I should say, gets found out, gets taken down. It's only a knock for now. Curly's still trying to save the day as I don't even know how they went up. That shock and slow launcher out of nowhere. Nobody looking up and getting any damage on the Curve, and it's actually working out. Scared gets a good amount of damage onto that high ground team as he repositions in front with Osid.
Well, Yamzo goes down, and this is everyone else's opportunity now to take home the positioning spots here for LAN. All of those players that were so close, yet so far now, when you start looking at the points, are just sitting on an opportunity here and now. There's still over 10 teams remaining right now. Make that 10 flat here. Jason, Jargu have a chance to qual. In they go with the shockwave, but they gotta stick together. Jace kind of choking a little bit here, finds Clicks right above him, but no, doesn't go for the fight. Instead, just wants to stay alive and look at the pressure. Starting to take over here. This is close.
How scary that looked in that moment. They really didn't take any damage at all, and they reposition in front. And up above, this is the scariest thing. We thought we saw back-to-back wins by Peterbot and Poyo and the pressure they put out. It is going to get worse. They have the mythic rifle, but Jason, Jargu, they're fighting for the Esports World Cup finals slot. There's only 2 up for grabs here, and they want one of them. Down 40+ points going into this game. Their opposition on top of the leaderboard. Muzz and Sphinx going down. Josh eliminated. Yamzo left by himself. If you had any shot, this is going to be the one you have to take.
And Cold is still in this game. He's just by himself, so he needs to fall as well. Otherwise, you'll be soaking up those points that are so important. And do remember, Clicks and Higgs need a win plus some as they are still alive in the low ground too. So let's see who can actually pull through. Jace is still in the mix. Cold is putting pressure down from the low ground side here, and this is getting closer and closer here. Now Jace jumps in, one of the most important elims right there. He finds one, and the Siphon, now the mats, another shockwave too, and he is still going. No more Jargle though. This is another very important fight here for him.
Yeah, if you're Jace, this is your time to shine. We had everybody asking questions. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What is his history? None of that matters now because you get to start your destiny. He has to try to drop down low. There's a lot of pressure from Peterbot up above. He dodges that first elimination, sliding, trying to get in. He gets cut short. 6th place is where he will end. Will it be enough to qualify for EWC? Who knows? But Peterbot and Poyo have finally dropped down. They're ready to go on a tear. Down goes Noah plays. Bolt is now in their line of sight. This could be a back-to-back-to-back win for Peterbot and Pollo.
And also potential first place spot for that big prizing money. There goes Clicks falling there. In the end, Pollo now has got his line of sights on Osin and Scare, who are also so close to qualifying. Look at them, 274 points. What can they do? It would take a devastating mistake here from Peterbot to give them a chance, but no, he finds one. He's looking for the second, and can he get it? Of course he can, and there it is. 400 plus points in the end there, Jacob.
These games are just crazy, especially we're watching a fight for first place while simultaneously watching the fight for the bubble. Peterbot and Pollo get the hat trick. They get back-to-back wins, but that is going to be it from myself and Monster D-Face. We got a leaderboard to look at, Zeke.
MDF, Jacob, thank you guys so much. Fantastic cast on the day. No shot. We just allowed this to happen. Peterbot and Pollo winning half of the games in Qualifier 2 finals. Kelly!
Listen, they needed to prove themselves. Not that they needed to, but they wanted to. And getting second place in the heats and second place in the last finals, I think that they wanted to show everyone. Now, this coming off of them announcing their split up last night, I don't know if this is what I expected to see, but I love to see it. I am excited to see if this changes up any kind of potential snake innings happening, Blake.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of getting flashbacks to the Grim Gate season when they won 6 out of 6 in the Duo Cash Cup finals. Because 4 wins in a set lobby with some of the best teams on the region, how is that even possible? It makes no sense. I don't know how they do it. They just continue to do it over and over again. People are calling Peterbot washed, and he's here to prove them wrong.
Okay, it's time. Okay, so remember, before we show this, we're looking to be in the 3rd and 4th place. Okay, that's essentially top 2 because Peterbot, Pollo, Pole, and Ritual are already up there, right? They've already secured the first 2. Let's take a look at our leaderboard and see who qualled. Muzz fell early in that game, very early. Was it enough to hang on to a spot? Josh and Iamzo went in as well and barely hung on, guys. I cannot believe what has transpired here. So again, at the very beginning of the game, I'm talking at the very beginning, Muzz and Sphinx are eliminated instantly. We're all thinking that this is the worst thing that could happen, right? Like now everyone else below, they can look to strike up. How is this gonna go? And even with Iamzo and Josh, right? Think that Iamzo opens a chest and gets exotics, takes a grenade launcher and eliminates Kanada. 8 points ahead of Scare and Osin here. I can't even believe this. I cannot believe it came down to this final game, Kelly.
This is what it is all about. The Reload Elite series somehow is bringing some of the most highly competitive games we have ever seen in a finals. But my goodness, Josh and Iamzo, what a hot and cold game there, either kind of going down really early or getting 1st and 2nd place. So love to see them being able to clutch out in the final moments, even though, again, they went down a little early, just 8 points separating 4th from 5th place. Although, shoutouts to Scare and Osid. They had a great game as well, and hopefully we'll see them in the finals for the 3rd one.
Yeah, Scare and Osin had that 2v2. If they win it against Peterbot and Pollo, they are going to Saudi Arabia. But unfortunately, Peter gets the 4 win in the finals. But you could argue, Iamzo getting that mythic exotic chest, is that the reason they qualified? They eliminated Kanada with that grenade launcher. Kanada was looking good. Kanada probably would have passed them. Zeke, what do you think?
Dude, I think it's hard to say, right? Like, obviously, we have a lot more intel, like, in the moment. But, like, I agree, man. You know, if you're Kanada, you're sitting here thinking, okay, we're good, right? We're in zone. We got mats. We've got a plan. We're ready. And then suddenly, I'm in the air. I'm eliminated. And that's it, right? Like, hey, cannot believe this. I'm getting word, guys. We have an interview with Sphinx. Sphinx, are you out there, my friend? Can you hear me? What's up, man?
I hear you. I hear you. How are you guys?
Dude, we are doing so good. Congratulations. Congratulations. You guys have secured one of the spots to EWC. How does it feel? How does it feel? Because again, you guys went down super early, right? So you must have been sweating that entire last game.
Sweating, oh my God, you don't even know, man. I was like tweaking out. Like, it low-key feels great, you know, I don't know if y'all know, my old duo, Cooper, dropped me on my head, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I was selling a little, maybe I wasn't, I'm not gonna go there really. But look, he dropped me on my head, so I hit up my boy Muzz, I was like, Muzz, we gotta get things done, like, it's time, you know what I'm saying? Played the Div Cup yesterday, won it, played EWC today, might have choked the end, still qualled though. Still qualled though.
I love it. I love the confidence. And Sphinx, I have to talk about that game number 3, that solo clutch you had. What was it? Muzz went down in 17th place. What was going through your mind in that game?
I'm not even trolling, like, Muzz died. I low-key thought I sold, so I was like, all right, you know what I sold? I gotta make up for it. I had like a bunch of loot. I just played my mats out, used my shockwaves. I found a refresh backside, got an elimination, cap mats, cap loot, and a grenade launcher. I had 14 rockets and a grenade launcher, and I went front side and just started shooting at low ground. Not even kidding, 4 kills. Low ground has no mats. No one has mats. I'm on high ground, I'm a solo. I'm like, okay. All right.
Sphinx, you just punched your ticket to the Esports World Cup Finals. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
It feels great, man. I feel like I've been done in tourneys for a little bit now. Like, I kind of like getting back in my groove. I feel like I played really, really good the first 5 games. It feels good, you know? Some accomplishment, you know what I'm saying?
What's it like teaming with Muzz, man? Because, like, I mean, Muzz is such a, like, an iconic character, right? Like, to get paired up with him and then to just play and be like, hey, man, you know, we go, like you said, from Div Cup win, now you're going to a LAN. Like, what's that like?
Dude, Muzz is my carry, bro. He's a GOAT. When we played trios back last chapter, qual globals, got like 10th at globals, he was literally my carry. I'm not gonna lie, I can't name you one time Muzz ever like sold me in a major. Can't name one game. No glaze, like he's just a GOAT. I love playing with him. That's my carry for real.
Love to hear it. Sphinx, where can the people find you? If they are not following you, I need them to go find you right now. Where can they find you?
My X or my Twitter is just Sphinx FN. My Twitch, Sphinx. I don't really stream that much. And my YouTube, just Sphinx FN.
Perfect, man. Again, congratulations. You go on out there, celebrate. You will be seen at the EWC later on. Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to y'all later.
Dude,
That's crazy.
I'm trying to hold it together. Sphinx is a funny man. He's a funny man. He is a funny man. My gosh. Congratulations once again, Muzz and Sphinx and Josh and Iamzo, who have now secured themselves a spot going on to EWC. Here's a list of more names who have qualified as well. Man, what a fantastic day of Fortnite. Kelly, Blake, it has been so much fun hanging out with you guys, like calling all of this out and just talking Fortnite. How was it for you? Did you have a good time?
I had a wonderful time, but honestly, we can give shout outs to the players. We can give shout outs to production. Shout outs to Blake. This being your first time on the broadcast, absolutely phenomenal, Blake. I get to doing analysis with you. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. And again, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be on the show with an amazing group of talented analysts and casters. This tournament was crazy. It was cinema, as they say. NA Central never disappoints.
Man, Blake, thank you so much, man. It was such a pleasure having you here. Fortnite fam, that wraps up the show. Before we say goodbye, just 2 quick things. So one, FNCS is coming up very soon, okay? Just about a month away. Tomorrow, tickets go on sale. It's 4 a.m. Eastern time. Hop in. The Major One Summit is in Dusseldorf. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We would love to see you there. FNCS is not far away. And then not long after that, we're coming back for qualifier number 3. More spots on the line to EWC. So much going on. Make sure you guys are locked into Fortnite, all socials. With that being said, though, as always, we love you. Keep yourself safe. And we'll see you on that battle bus.
Now all of a sudden they're up in the race somehow for a qualification spot. And things are just starting to develop here in game number 7 there, too.